Hi. Hi, everyone. Did we do it? Are we live? Can you see me? Um, Let me know if you're watching this after the facts, after I'm live. Give me a little hashtag replay in the comments. And if you are joining me actually live, let me know. Say hi in the comments. Um, I'm here today, as I am every Tuesday, around this time-ish, 8 a.m. LA time, to talk about various aspects of my business, ways that I'm making money, and to inspire you, of course, to make some money yourself. So I want to tell you guys how much money my business has made so far this year, how much money I've made so far this year. Those are two different numbers, right? Because business income isn't my income, it belongs to the business. Sometimes I take draws off of it, sometimes I pay myself from it, but it's important when you're building a business. The business income belongs to the business, all right? So you keep reinvesting into the business side of things, which means in order to make your life work, you have to have other sources of income if you're going to build your own business. Isn't that right? You have to have other sources of income. Which is why I recommend that people, of course, diversify their income into a mix of active, passive, and semi-passive income streams. Like the courses I do, I consider those to be semi-passive because sometimes people buy the option where they get to work one-on-one with me. Sometimes people buy the option where they get to work within the context of the small group. And sometimes people just buy the course that I've already built and I don't have to do anything. So depending on which tier they're purchasing, I give them those three options to work with me, to work with the small group, or to just do the work themselves. And that's why it's like it's semi-passive. Like a lot of the work's already done. There may be an extra hour or two I spend with them. That allows me to make a little bit more money. Yay. And then, of course, investments as well. Truly passive income, not real estate. Real estate is not passive at all. Real estate is so much work. It's crazy. But truly passive income, like cryptocurrency, investing in stocks, investing in, mutual funds, things of that nature. I like index funds over mutual funds personally. That's what's really going to allow you the space to build a business the way you want to build it. Most people will probably work a job. Oops, let's turn off those notifications. Most people will probably be working a job alongside building their business, which is what I did. I was teaching yoga before and after work and on the weekends. Never thinking that I would make it my full-time gig. And so I've never, indeed, I've never made yoga my full-time gig because it would just be too draining. But I was working in the corporate world. I was working, 50-hour weeks in the logistics world, staring at spreadsheets and negotiating with rich white dudes. One of my favorite things to do. Um, so that's what allowed me over the course of 8 years, and it doesn't have to take you that long, but it is going to take some time to build up a business income stream such that you can reliably draw off of it while continuing to invest in and build it. Okay, so it's an ongoing thing as you're building up your income streams. You need to be keeping a bunch of plates spinning, right? And of course, I technically work for other people now. I teach yoga at a studio here in Los Angeles, in Venice, at Shefa Yoga, and I love it. They pay me a really good amount of money. I get paid 75 bucks a class. I get free yoga, plus I get to bring a guest, whether I go to yoga or whether I'm teaching yoga. And there's a whole bunch of other reasons that I love working there. But those are my primary reasons why I choose to work for someone else, even though when I quit my last job, I was like, I'm never working for anybody else again. In that capacity, that was true, where they control my schedule and I don't have any say over how much I get paid. So I wanted to let you guys know, because I think it's important to destigmatize numbers and make it normal for people to make what may seem like a lot of money. To some people, it may seem like not very much money. For me, it's enough. And I get to live in peace and with no stress around money because I know how to bring in enough to make my life work. And most importantly, if I need more, I know how to make more. I can make that happen. If I needed to make $1,000 in the next hour, in the next day, I know how to do that. I've got a list of 20 ideas on my blog. If anyone needs access to that blog, how to make $1,000 really quickly, let me know and I'll put the link in my comments. So I have that confidence in myself that I can bring in the money that I need if there's something that I see and I want it and I want to buy it. But I trust that the systems that I have in place so far are generating enough income that I don't need to stress about where my next dollar is going to come from. Even though sometimes my ego does love to stress about that stuff. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, well, how am I going to pay rent next month? And I'm like, I already know. I have a plan. It wants to freak out. And sometimes I got to give it a little bit of space to freak out to like reel it back in, give it a big hug and tell that anxiety like, hey, it's okay. We're provided for. Everything's good. So the vast majority of my business income comes from coaching. So far this year, I've made $4,880, almost $5,000 trading my time coaching, very part-time. I have 4 one-on-one clients right now. So it's something I don't do it very often. I love it. I love it. There was a time in my life I thought I wanted to have 10 clients at any given time, 2 a day. And I found that is not completely appropriate for my energy level. I like to do a lot of different things during the day, and I love working with my clients. I want to give them all of the energy and attention they need, not just during our one-on-one meetings, but also outside of those meetings when they have access to me for whatever comes up in the context of our coaching relationship. So that's where the bulk of my income comes from. Very active, requires a lot of my time, and I love it. I look forward to it every day. The next, for my business, for Splendid Yoga, course income has gotten me a good chunk of money. I made $3,526 so far of my course income, $3,500 and almost $5,000. So yeah, we're doing pretty well. So those courses are Insight Timer Secrets, of course, where I teach people how to get on Insight Timer, teach on there, but also make money on there, right? How to turn it into both a completely passive income stream, because you get paid royalties for your guided meditations. I have some tricks for the ones that are going to generate the most listeners. And also through the active income of getting people, using it as a marketing funnel to get people to sign up for your courses, your one-on-one work, your buy your books, or anything else that you want to sell people. So that's been the second biggest moneymaker for Splendid Yoga. And then teaching yoga through Shefa Yoga and then through Splendid Yoga online, which is purely passive for me at this point. I've built the course. I throw in a few extra classes a year when it's easy for me and when I'm inspired to, but for the most part, there's enough content on there. The email sequences are built out that I don't really have to do anything. Once someone signs up for it, I just get the email that they're giving me $13.99 a month, and I'm like, 2 thumbs up. Good luck to you, sir, ma'am. You. So I don't have to do anything else there. It's purely passive income. I got a few subscribers in there that I make a little bit of money off of. The bulk of my yoga income comes from my teaching public yoga classes through Shefa Yoga here in Venice, where they pay me $75 to teach an hour's class, which is great. I think that's a great rate, especially for an expensive place like Los Angeles. And this is all stuff, again, that I love to do. I look forward to this stuff. I used to teach a lot more private yoga. I discovered I did not love that so much. I take one private yoga student a year, and they have to sign a year-long contract with me. I found that the people that were hiring me for private yoga, they wanted me to just give them a massage, and I'm not a massage therapist. I do Thai massage work in the context of healing work. It's incredibly draining for me. If that's what I do that day, I can't do anything else. I can't work on anything else. I have to concentrate all my energy just on that client. I know massage therapists who do like 8 clients a day. That's crazy to me. I just don't have that relationship to it. It's not something, it's so active and so physically draining because you're having to remove someone's stress and stuff and then do something with it. You can channel for their suffering. And I'm like, I do that already just by breathing. Like, I don't need to take on anything more. So teaching yoga in the public classes help. I love that interaction, that relationship. The energy always feels amazing. I always feel great. So that's why I do that, and I don't do very much private yoga teaching. And then I've made some money off of my affiliate sales. I recommend ConvertKit as the email service provider that I use. Every time someone uses my link, they give me a little bit of money. I've recommended some courses to people, some business coaching courses to people where I get a little bit of a kickback. The Sales Sisters through the Women Entrepreneurs Group, Success Through Community. I think that's the name of it. They do great work. I work with them often. I really respect them. They've helped me make a lot of money, so I am constantly recommending them. And then they give me a little bit of a kickback, just like I pay my affiliates a 20% commission for anyone you send my way who signs up for one of my courses. If I can track it to you, whether you're signed up for my affiliate program or you just shoot me a group message, it's like, hey, so and so, connect with Morgan. I think you guys should work together. I give you 20% of whatever the first program they sign up for is. So like with the Insight Timer Secrets, if you guys send me like a yoga teacher to sign up, right now the course is $19.97. So I give you 20% of $2,000. I don't know how much that is. Is that $400? It might be $400. Welcome to Dyscalculia, a big part of ADHD for me. It is $400. So you can make $400 just by shooting a quick text to a friend of yours that's like, hey, I know you've been looking for other ways to make money as a yoga teacher, as a meditation teacher, and I think you should talk to Morgan about Insight Timer. And then you just connect us and I take it from there. And if they sign up, you've made $400 for like 8 seconds of work, right? You all should be doing this. So easy. Okay, so that's how my business has made money. So how much is that? 5,000, 3,500, 1,300, 1,500. Let me add that up real quick here. Let's see. What did I say? 4880 will be very exact. 35, 26, 12, 44, and 16, 28. So far my business has made, are you going to tell me the number? 11,000 bucks. 11,278 bucks. Not bad for the first 2 months of the year. 6,000, 5,500 bucks a month. That's not bad. That about that, you know, I obviously have some expenses. I have VAs. I pay for website stuff and tech stuff, and I invest in my own business coaches, which I run through my business. So it doesn't look like my business makes any money. But in terms of something I put about 10 to 20 hours of a week of work into, and also keeping in mind I traveled probably 4 weeks out of the last 2 months. I'm really proud of my business for making almost $12,000, $11,000 over the last 2 months. So hooray for me. Cheers to me. Now in terms of, I spend a lot more money than that. So I've had to make my own money from my other passive income streams. I sold some Google stock. I made 20 grand. That was exciting. I sold some Apple stock. I made 4,300 bucks. And I sold some Bitcoin. I made 1,000 bucks. I invest the bulk of my money into the businesses that I use the most. I use Google all day long. I use Apple products all day long. So I'm going to buy into, I've already bought into the business. I want to make some money from that business, knowing that it works really well on me. So whenever I have some extra money, the bulk of it, if I'm investing it, is going to go into one of the stocks of the businesses that I use every day. And it pays really well. How much is that? $25,000 over the past 2 months of selling stuff. I'm going to have to pay some taxes on it. So let's take away a little bit of money for taxes. But that's where the bulk of my money comes from, are these passive investments that I started when I was 18 and I'm 38 now. So, you know, this is 20 years of build up to being able to draw 25 grand from an account and not freak out that like all my money is going to be gone, right? I still have enough money that it's going to regenerate itself as the market fluctuates over the coming months and years. I don't normally pull that much money out. I take the bulk of my money out at the beginning of the year, and then I usually amortize it over the year, over the course of the year, and I just pull little chunks out as needed, usually for travel situations that arise. And indeed, the bulk of this money went to buying the luxury travel pass so I can travel a lot this year. That's my big goal for this year. After 2 years of no travel, I want to travel as much as possible. It's one of my biggest priorities. It's one of the most expensive parts of my budget, and I love every single dollar I spend. I have never regretted a dollar that I've spent on travel, except for a trip to Spain. We don't need to talk about it. I'll tell you guys that story some other time. So that's how I made money so far this year. I'm going to continue to do that same thing. I study my money. I see where I'm continuing to make a lot of money, and I keep doing those things. And if there are things in my life I'm working on that aren't making money, I gotta get them out of there, right? I can't spend any more time on the things that aren't making me money when it comes to business stuff. Now, I will experiment a little bit here and there with investing in different parts of my business and see what bites, but I don't always follow what bites financially. I usually follow what bites energetically. So for example, I just spent $500 on a course to learn how to monetize my YouTube channel. I don't love YouTube as a user because of the ads, but I see the potential to make a lot of money from it. And a lot of clients find me through YouTube because of I'm one of the only people who's talking about Insight Timer on there. It's very niche, but I see the potential for it to grow into something that where I could potentially have, maybe another couple $1,000 a month coming from purely passive income. So I was scrolling through TikTok, which of course read my mind. I came across, you may have seen her lawyer, Erica, who is like, here's how you get like refunds for your flights or whatever. And I started looking into her stuff because I found myself watching all of her content because I was learning a lot. And then she started emailing me because I signed up for her email list for some reason about like how to monetize YouTube, how she did it. And I was like, yeah, I want to figure that out. So I bought the course. I think it was, I got like a coupon or something. It was like $400. This is one of the secrets, by the way, to anything that you buy online. If you know that you're stuck in an email sequence, eventually they're going to send you a promo code that gives you a discount, whether it's the first thing they send you, like that's why they got you on the list, or whether it's like down the line, like they're just trying to keep your attention. Eventually you'll get an email that gives you a little bit of money off. So it was in this case, after like a 5 email sequence, I got an email that said, hey, for the next 24 hours, get $100 off. And I was like, that's what I was waiting for. So I started going through the modules. I've learned so much already, which is not only going to serve me as I implement it into my YouTube channel, but it's also going to serve my clients who want to do this with their own lives, So it's such a win, I think, for when you decide to bring new knowledge into your life, knowing that it will flow through you. And that's one of the most important things that I've realized is that one of the income streams that I think is important for everyone to have is some capacity where you're teaching, because you have so much knowledge and wisdom inside of you and it's valuable. And you probably paid for a lot of it, right? I didn't learn yoga by going to an ashram and living off of lentils for 6 months. I paid $2,500 for my first yoga teacher training. I paid $130 a month for a yoga membership. I paid a lot of money, and I went, paid for workshops, I paid for retreats, and I continue to because I value it, because that's what I want to spend my money on, right? But that means that it's valuable inside of me that I can now sell it. And you can do that for anything, whether you're into ceramics, someone had to teach you how to make art, right? So now you can teach people how to make art. What I see a lot of my clients run into is this sense of imposter syndrome. Like, first of all, who am I to do this when there are people who already know so much more? Like, I should just pass people to my teacher instead of having them learn through me. But the reality is the teacher that you had isn't appropriate for everybody. In fact, by the time they've taught you, they're ready to teach a new layer of what the information that they're offering. So like, as I'll give you an example, as a yoga teacher, I rarely teach beginners. But when I first started teaching yoga, I was mostly teaching beginners. And that's because your clients and your students are so often just right behind you on the path, right? The guy who's already gotten to the top of the mountain, he can't always remember what it was like, exactly where the footfall should go and what branch you should grab onto to pull yourself up the mountain of whatever goal you've decided upon, right? But the guy who's just a few steps in front of you, they're going to be able to tell you, hey, it's a little easier if you take this route instead of that route, right? Okay, so anytime you have any sense of imposter syndrome come up, just remember you're better suited for the students who are right behind you than the masters who are way in front of both of you. And that's true for as you're seeking teachers. Depending on what type of lineage we're talking about, it's not always appropriate for you to work with the most expensive, the most experienced teacher, because energetically you may not be there yet. You've got to kind of step your way up and have patience with yourself. But certainly there is something in your life that you can teach to other people, whether it's, woodworking. I can't tell you, I don't know, what would I pay someone to teach me how to build? Nothing, because I hate do-it-yourself stuff. I love buying what other people have built. But, I have maybe like a bookshelf situation. Like if someone showed me how to make a very basic shelf, that's something I would pay someone to teach me how to do if it took as much time to buy it in a package. It didn't cost as much money. Anything from creating social media content. I have a few friends who have started teaching people how to make reels, and literally their qualifications are they make reels, right? They do it themselves. Maybe they bought a course from somebody else. Maybe they just learned through sweat equity, through the experience of scrolling and getting used to all the different edits that you can do and learning how to cheat the algorithm to, go viral or whatever. But they make a good chunk of change off that because that's what everyone thinks they need to be doing right now is learning how to make reels, which if you're in social media, yeah, you do need to learn how to make short form video content. That's the nature of where the technology is headed. It's what the algorithm is going to push. And that's why I've invested in it over the past year, learning how to do this stuff. I bought a few courses, mostly just for the accountability of time. Like I can teach myself, but I may not. But if I've paid someone to teach me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All right, my friends, I'm going to jump off of here. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this content. Check out the link that I put in the description. It's a link to one of my cheapest items. I think it is my cheapest item. It's the Splendid Money Management Tricks. And I talk about how I built my business. I talk about how I found all the different income streams, how I decided which income streams I wanted to invest in, and how I combine them with my value system, with what I value in terms of how I spend my time and the impact that I want to make upon the world. As you know, I'm a yoga teacher, of course, but I have a deep-seated spirituality that skews a lot of different spiritual traditions, including Buddhism and Taoism, traditional Chinese medicine, things of that nature. And I like combining all those things because there's no one lineage that's appropriate for anyone, just like there's no one social media marketing strategy that's appropriate for every single person, right? It's always going to be an amalgamation of the wisdom that we bring in. But I like to be really conscious about the wisdom that I'm bringing in terms of allowing it to come from a place of deep-seated spirituality, of deep connection, of mindfulness, and of just trying not to be an asshole, you know? Trying to just treat others how I would like to be treated, but like when I like myself. I don't always do things nice to myself when I'm not very pleased with myself. But like your inner child, like just treat how you would treat like that tiniest form of yourself. That's how I want to be treated. That's how I try to treat the world in the work that I do and the studying that I do and the meditations that I do. So thank you for joining me, those of you who have tuned in. Check out my YouTube channel, go subscribe over there. I repost some of these things, but I also have a ton of other content talking about business coaching stuff, ways to make money in ways that aligns with your energy, your mind, your body, your spirit. I hope you all have a beautiful Tuesday.